it it should be clear to anyone who is following the process of growing that there really is only one question that a person ever needs to ask. V'ato Yisrael, ma Hashem Elokecha shoel me'imach. Now, right now at this moment, what does a Kadosh Baruch Hu want? What does he ask of you? And there really is only one task. That's there aren't multiple tasks. It's just not always absolutely clear what the one task is. But there's only one task, and there's only one time, and there's only one person, and that's you. And a person is supposed to feel the sense of Ve'ata Yisrael Ma Hashem Elokecha Shoel Me'imach. What is Hashem asking me to do right here, right now, with this situation? There is no other option. That is so the question could be asked. So how do I know what that one thing is? How do I get the clarity of knowing what that one thing is? And the answer comes from understanding a statement that Rabbi Akiva said. It's quoted in Maseches Derech Eretz Zuta. And the statement is, Tchilas Shimushi B'chachomim. When did I really start learning? Now, it's clear from what you'll hear next, it's clear that he was already learning. He was already in yeshiva. It was not Rabbi Akiva in his before days. He already had rebellion. What really got him started? What got him started was that he found a mace mitzvah. He found Nebuch, a person who was, there was nobody to attend to him, somebody who was nifter, and there was nobody in the world to attend to this person. And he put him on his shoulders. And we don't need to describe just how much heavier a person is when he's not alive. A chai is no seyes atzmo. There's a certain buoyancy that is associated with somebody who's alive, but that is not there with somebody who is not alive. And he schlepped him a tremendous distance. The Brisa says he schlepped him a tremendous distance to the city, and he buried him there in the city with his own hands. So a tremendous act of Mesiras Nefesh for Kavod HaMeis that he did to bring this Meis Mitzvah to the city. Vehebesi, I brought what happened, I recounted what happened to my rebellion. Again, a reminder that he already had rebellion. I recounted what I had done to my rebellion. And my rebellion told me that every Daled Amos that I carried him was Ki'ilu Shofech Damin. It was an act of bloodshed, unintentional, of course, but an act of bloodshed. Because the halacha is that a Meis Mitzvah is Koneh Mikoma. A Meis Mitzvah acquires the Daled Amos where he fell and where he is to be buried. And even though it was not his burial place, but now that he is a Meis Mitzvah, he acquires that place and he is to be buried there. That is his place. And every 4 amos that you schlepped him away from his place was actually a sort of bloodshed. He said that was the turning point in my learning. And that reveals, from that point on, I never left them. I never left my rebellion. I was always there. I didn't miss a shear. I didn't miss an opportunity to ask. I was there with my Rebbeim. What the Brisa is teaching us is a combination of how you start. You start with your intuition. You start with your gut feeling. And he had this wonderful, strong gut feeling that this was a proper way to be Mechabe the Niftar. By putting himself out to such great lengths, really a blood, sweat, and tears to be able to bring this mace to the city and bury him. He found him a kvura, and he dug his grave and he buried him there. And he found out that his gut, his instinct, was wrong. It was not in line with Das Torah. That's what makes the difference. What made the difference in his life, before that, he was gaining information. He was undoubtedly studying when he had Rebbeim, but he didn't really get it until he realized that what the Torah does for us is it straightens our perspective against our own intuition and gut feeling. When he discovered that his gut feeling could be absolutely wrong, to the point where his Rebbeim referred to what he did as ki'ilu shofech damim, that's when he realized you got to get serious about your relationship with Torah. So the place to start is a person's intuition, their gut feeling. In the language of the Gemara, it's called the Havamina. The Havamina means this is what I would have thought. Had I not learned anything different, what I would have thought is the following. And that's fine. That's the place to start. But you need a critical addition. The critical addition to that is I am absolutely open to finding out that I was dead wrong. The combination of a havamina, of an intuition, of a gut feeling, of an assumption, together with a willingness and an openness to discover that the opposite is the case, is what leads to being able to align oneself with a Ratzon Hashem. That's the opening. That's the door. That is how we get in the story. So people who don't think their own Havamina, no, I just need to find out. I need to find out what the rabbis say. I can't think myself. They'll never grow, because Ein Adam Omed Al Divrei Torah Ella Im Kein Nichshal Bahem. A person only realizes what Torah has to offer when he discovers that he made a mistake. If he just asks without having thought through what did I think? What was my thought? What was my havamina? If he doesn't take a stand, what is my thought? He'll never correct it. He'll never make the discovery that Rabbi Akiva had to make. He first has to know this is what I think. And he takes a stand. And this is what I believe is the correct thing to do. And then he finds out that he's absolutely wrong. Then he's grown. Then he's learned. It's a combination of having a havamina and an openness to recognizing that I could be absolutely wrong. See, well, but if I'm afraid of getting it wrong, why do I have? Because you need to have your own view. You need to start with your own opinion. But if you're a person who's, once you have an opinion, you get stuck there, then you never learn the maskana of the Gemara. Then you never find out what the Torah wants. So there's this absolutely well-tuned, fine-tuned balance. You have to have your own view. You have to have your havamina. And you have to have an absolute willingness to discover that I'm 100% wrong. The combination of those two, that's called Shimush Chachamim. That's called becoming a Talmid Chacham. That's how a Na'ar grows to become a Chacham. He has the view, and he has an understanding that he could be absolutely wrong. And with that combination in hand, he takes the critical step from being a Na'ar to being a Chacham. missing either one on either side, not going to do the trick. He combines the two, the sense I know what I think is right, together with I could be absolutely wrong. He will succeed in Shimush Chachamim.